2nd, 2026. We are meeting in the Wacoit Meeting Room, Mashpee Town Hall, 16 Great Neck Road North. We are also broadcast live on Mashpee Public Cable Channels 8 and 1072, and streaming live on the Town of Mashpee's website, with the meeting available for later viewing on the Mashpee Town Hall YouTube channel. Tonight's meeting is also a hybrid meeting with participation available via Zoom. And we are going to go first on our agenda to public comment for any issues not related to agenda items for this evening's meetings. Is there anyone here or online that would like to address the commission at this time? Okay. Seeing none and hearing none, we are going to begin with our scheduled hearings. We're going to jump around a little bit, make sure we make the most of everybody's time. And our first hearing for the evening that we will open is the hearing for 49 The Heights, DEP file number 433381. Applicants are Jan and Pamela Agerbach, Agerbach Living Trust. Representative is Homestead Consulting Engineers. And this is a project for a proposed pool installation and mitigation continued from December 11th and January 8th. Would you please state your name for the record, sir? The floor is yours.
Josh Green from Homestead Consulting Engineers. Good to just get right into it, right?
Absolutely.
So since last hearing, as you said, it was continued. We were asked to do a couple of items. First was, I guess we'll start with the alternative layout. We had rotated the pool as we were asked. We tried to slot it a reasonable distance from the deck so nobody was getting crazy and jumping off the deck into the pool. But the proximity of the pool to the inland bank didn't seem to be viable. The structure itself got closer to the inland bank line. Looking at the interests of the inland bank, I would say having the excavation for the pool, even if you had the shallow end on that side, is more of a detriment to the interests of the inland bank than having a patio closer to it. That being said, we thought it made sense to keep the layout that we have and kind of go into the two other items that we were asked to look into. One of which was making the patio permeable. We did two things. We selected a grout that allows for water to infiltrate between. And we also went from a larger paver down to a smaller one, which allows for more grout area and further infiltration. Last thing was the mitigation. There was some back and forth about turf versus lawn. The applicant was open towards, I'll call it the two triangles. We had the smaller triangle on the bottom of the plan as we see it, and the larger triangle to the, I guess, next to the pool. There was discussion about the lower one. We seemed to all be in agreement that we could definitely mitigate that one. The applicant was more than amenable to just providing mitigation plantings over the entire area. So I think last time we kind of went through how this project doesn't really present anything detrimental to the interests of an inland bank. I think now we can actually say that it protects those interests and provides some buffer while providing meaningful impact to all of the rest of the interests having to do with the inland bank. We've added now a larger amount of habitat area, especially when you take it as a percentage of the lot area. And then the one item that I believe I made reference to that we didn't have really any improvement over existing conditions was groundwater recharge. Now with the permeable patio, we can say that we do have some improvement over existing conditions. That'll open it up to questions.
Thank you. We'll move to commissioners for any questions for the applicant. Anybody like to go first?
I'll go
Yes,
first, I guess.
sure.
Good evening. So we're good with the amount of mitigation that was needed from last time we, correct? There's no waiver being requested on the mitigation.
No, there is still a waiver. I think we had discussed it briefly in the last meeting. Even if we provided mitigation over this whole entire backyard area, it technically wouldn't meet the mitigation guideline.
Okay, so how much are we off?
It's, I believe it's about 4,000 required. It might have been a little bit higher. Let me just get the exact number for you. We did add it to the plan. 4481, and we have 1340. So it is less. We haven't been shy about saying that. And we do acknowledge it, but we do think that with every interest addressed for the resource area, we would think that in this case, due to the proximity of the existing house, some backyard area, we think that it being an overall benefit to the resource and its interests, it made sense.
And in my notes, it says that there's no ZBA application filed yet. Is that true?
We were asked to get approval through conservation before we have it, so we are ready to.
To file for the permit?
That's what we were told. We did reach out to them.
To zoning, you reached out?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that I'm not aware of.
Does that happen?
That's the first I've heard of it.
Yeah, typically they file. I mean, according to our regulations, if the application isn't filed for, then the proposal is incomplete, according to our regs.
Yeah, according to our regs, all applicable permits have to be at least applied for the conservation bylaws. That's the first I've heard from zoning saying that, so I'm just not sure where that lands with zoning.
We had 2 calls with them. We did ask the question. They said it was really a conservation issue, so they wanted to get the input, and I'm pretty sure they made reference to the
So
fact
they wanted
that-
to see how this case went before the hearing until they even had it on their table.
That's what they made it sound, because we have the application ready. They said to just wait until we get the input.
Okay, so you have it already.
That paperwork goes back to early November, correct?
For when we originally
Well,
filed?
The
or-
building commissioner stated that you needed to file for the ZBA application in November.
I'm not sure of the exact date. It may have been late November. I thought it was,
Part of our supplemental is Form 2. It has to be signed by the building commissioner. This one was.
Yeah.
Stating that it does have to go back for setbacks to wetlands. So I haven't
Yeah.
discussed it with them at all. But it is in our regulations. All applicable permits have to be applied for. So I would recommend discussing with the commission tonight. If the commission is looking at an approval for this, it can be conditioned. The way that would work is they would get the order of conditions. There would be no building permit sign off from conservation at all until ZBA is completely done.
that makes 100% sense to me.
Down to. On the other hand, if the commission doesn't feel comfortable, then a continuance request would be suggested so that you could have time to apply for that.
That makes sense to me.
I have no further questions.
Thank you.
Yep.
Other commissioners with questions or comments? Sandy? Okay. Shauna?
Can you talk to me a little bit about how you're gonna do the excavation for the pool, and what you're gonna use to get, because the house is pretty tight on both sides, so how's the digging and stuff like that gonna go?
Yeah, it can certainly, it depends on any given site conditions when we're actually starting the excavation, depending on the soils. In this case, I think it would make sense to have some type of contingency on a pre-construction meeting to discuss that with the agent once the excavation starts. We'd have to make a judgment call of, is shoring needed to protect the inland bank? This size pool with the buffer on the patio, I don't anticipate a great amount of over excavation needed. It's not a huge pool. So I don't anticipate much encroachment of kind of caving in from the excavation on the down gradient side. And again, it depends, I guess, kind of which way the shallow end is situated, but I believe it's on the opposite side from the inland bank. So it should be protected. Typically, we handle that during the pre-construction meeting of kind of laying that out in the field, but
But this is, so we talked about this is the way you're intending to put the pool in, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Okay, I got you. But you'll have to put some kind of machinery in here to dig,
yeah, likely a mini excavator.
okay. That was it for me.
Thank you.
No
Rich?
questions.
Nothing? Neil?
I don't have anything.
Okay. Hi, Josh. Well, thank you for addressing all of the concerns from the last hearing. I was able to review that earlier this week. I think, from my vantage, and I know this was discussed at the last hearing, the installation of a pool is not a compelling need to waive our regulations. And if we are over 3,000 square feet short on the mitigation that our regulations would require, I think you're in a bit of a tough position. I was not able to get out for a site visit, but I do just want to confirm that this whole area, this is lawn, correct? This is
Correct.
not impervious?
Yes.
Okay, and lawn is, as you know, it's a semi-pervious surface, so it does stabilize soil and sediment. It does allow for water retention. In my opinion, we do prefer lawn over patios, even if they are using pervious grout. And hearing that the ZBA filing has not been done, that would trigger in our regulations that this is an incomplete application. So I would say there's still some concerns from where I sit, but I'm just one commissioner. I don't have any questions, but those are my comments. So with that, I'll go to the agents. Drew, Dan, do you all have anything further to add?
Not too much more to add. It is kind of an unusual situation with the zoning board, because that's the first time I've heard of zoning saying we're not even accepting an application. I think seeing as it made the effort to do that, it's kind of difficult situation, I guess, for the applicant, being told they can't even apply, and then Concom says you can't go forward, with a decision until that happens. So maybe there's an opportunity for some relief there, but just putting it out there for your consideration. One way or another, they have to file an application regardless. And the other thing is, if the commission does decide to close and issue a permit, we would recommend a 3-year mitigation contract with qualified horticulturalist or wetland consultant for a signed contract there. Understand the concerns about excavation, close to the top of the bank, but this is a vegetated, stable bank, so I don't anticipate issues of destabilization, especially with a mini excavator. That's a pretty unintrusive piece of heavy equipment. And again, that can be, sorted out through conditioning and pre-construction on site. But aside from that, nothing else.
Thank you, Drew.
Sure.
Dan?
I don't have too much to add. The waiver itself is going to have to be a discussion item of the commissioners when it comes to that point, because the mitigation, as you know, is short, and they clearly have some concerns about that. So for that, the waiver will have to be discussed amongst the commissioners for any determination to be set. That's it from me.
Thank you. Is there anybody from the public, either here or online, that would like to offer comment on the application? Okay. Hearing none and seeing none, I will accept a motion from commissioners.
Are we going to discuss not having anything with ZBA to at least vote on it, and then if we can condition it with ZBA approval so they don't have to come back?
Sure.
I guess any discussion with that? Anybody feelings on that? If we can take a vote on it, whether it passes, fails, but with the condition that ZBA passes it, and so the applicant doesn't have to come back?
Any thoughts?
Yeah.
Do we condition this, or is the consensus that we would prefer the filing to be complete before we adjudicate the application? And it would be helpful, just moving forward, in the interests of this application and others, if this was in an email or in writing, something that we could follow up with the zoning board, or the staff could follow up with the zoning board, just to make sure that we're in alignment on things moving forward, so.
Yeah, I can have they usually send me an email once these are confirmed, applied for.
Okay.
So I can forward that on.
Sure. Well, even just an email from the zoning board saying that they have told the applicant that
Oh, okay.
they're not allowing the applicant to submit the application until conservation passes the permit. That would be helpful. Great point, Rich. Any thoughts?
I don't see any reason. I mean, if there's a motion to close an issue, and that motion were to carry, then just have the condition stated, as Drew had mentioned, that absolutely no work takes place. So that would preclude not having the applicant necessary to come back,
Sure.
assuming it carries. I don't know.
Could I ask a question?
Sure.
I mean, with the mitigation seems to be the, kind of the big item. Could I ask for a straw poll on that? And then we're more than happy to file with ZBA and continue this to get that buttoned up. We have no problem doing that. But I, wouldn't mind getting input on the mitigation issue before I do so.
Sure.
At
So-
this point, that's just,
Sure, that's reasonable, yeah. So comfort level closing and issuing the permit with the short mitigation. We can go around the table. Paul, would you like to go first? So this is really a question on whether or not we would
Right.
feel comfortable granting the waiver.
So we're
Request for the
3,141 square feet short.
Correct.
So I'd be inclined to say no.
Okay. Sandy?
Me too. No.
Okay. Shauna?
Me too.
Rich?
Would the applicant be open to a more robust plan right now? Is it,
we can certainly look at it. I mean, we've planted every area outside the patio. I did have a question of, we had been counting removal of lawn area as mitigation previously. We did not count the patio as mitigation. The fact that it now provides groundwater recharge, does that count towards it? I just,
Typically, it does not.
Okay.
You can request that within your waiver if you want to, but typically, we don't count that as mitigation.
okay, I just wanted to ask a question because that might get it closer.
Sure.
We can look at more. I don't see it getting to the full amount. Like I said, that is that whole entire backyard. So we had looked at taking out, we actually shrunk one of the walkways a little bit on one of the sides of the pool. We can look at it if that's what it is. I mean, to get some type of number that we need to get to, I guess, would help.
I would think if you can reduce the scope of the project, it also reduces the mitigation required. So I think it would be incumbent on you to come back with how small can this get? And then we can see how short we are, but that's just my opinion. Any other thoughts? Okay. So given that, how would you like to proceed?
I think I'd request continuation.
Okay.
All right, so our next one is February 5th, or you can go into February 19th. Or any month after that, quite honestly.
I think I'd request the 19th for now.
All right.
We have a motion to accept the request to continue to February 19th.
so moved?
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call vote. Paul?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes.
Shauna?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well.
Thank you all.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Have a good night. Okay, moving on. We will open the hearing for 16 Slice Way. The owner of record is the 16 Slice LLC, Representative Marsh Matters Environmental. This is DEP file number 433387, a proposed single-family house construction with on-site sewage disposal system and landscaping amenities, and this is continued from January 8th. Good evening, gentlemen. If you could state your name for the record. Sure. Floor is yours.
Good evening, members of the commission. My name is Mike Ball. I'm with Marsh Matters Environmental. I'm representing Kuro Stoyanov, the applicant for the project. Yeah, we were originally on the agenda, the last hearing, but we needed to, the site hadn't been staked in time, and so we needed time to get that site staked and add some additional information to the project plan. So the set of plans that you should have are going to have a revision date of January 9 of 2026. And the plans that accompanied the primary plan from Outerland, those did not change at all, so those have the original date on them. And then there was a set of architectural drawings by Cape Architecture that we did revise to, in order to add retaining walls, so the commission would have an opportunity to see what those walls would look like in kind of a side view or an elevation view. So you should have 3 sets of plans. We did actually submit with the original NOI a tree location plan. This was a plan that was done by BSS Design a number of years ago, where they located all of the mature trees on the lot. So this primary plan that's up on the screen now doesn't show all the trees, but there is a plan in the package that does have all the existing trees. So this is interesting in that this is a parcel that abuts the the New Seabury Country Club Golf Course. So like a lot of the houses on that road, they look out over one of the fairways. There was a house on this lot as late as 2017, which was demolished. I'm not sure the history of why that was demolished, but I know there was a house there, and they removed it. So this proposal is seeking to build a new single-family house, 3-bedroom, with a denitrification septic system on site. The wetland resource area for this site is an inland bank associated with a freshwater golf course pond, which was constructed as kind of a golf course hazard feature sometime between 1995 and 2001. I just was able to go back historically and look at the aerials and see when that pond was installed. The pond was actually reduced in size at one point, and over time, in addition to the man-made embankments, there is freshwater vegetation along the edge of that pond, mostly Typha marsh is the type of wetland along the edge of that marsh. So that's the resource area. There is no flood zone. What the plan does show you is the inner 75-foot zone and the outer 75-foot zone, and it also shows the golf course easement that's significant to this project in that the house needs to be outside of that easement. So on that drawing, you'll see a red dashed line. That's the golf course easement. The work limit extends over the golf course easement. And in the revised drawing, Dan, I don't know if you can bring that revised plan up, because that's the older one.
I should be able to.
The reason why the revised plan is significant is we added information on how the applicant would restore any areas that are altered when they build the house. I think it's, given the location of the house footprint and in relation to the golf course easement, there's really no way not to dig a foundation without disturbance inside that golf course easement. So I had Weller and Associates just add a zone basically stating that if there is disturbance, that disturbance would be restored by the planting of native shrubs in that area. Let's see. Yeah, that's the old drawing, Dan.
I know, I can't. I don't know why it's not in this file.
Is it the one here in the packet?
Yeah, the one in the packet is the correct one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a copy here if anybody needs to see it.
They have the correct one in their
They've
packet.
got, okay, good. I had a chance to talk with Steve Cook informally about the project, and he mentioned a couple of things that he wanted to see on the project, and that one of those things was including information on restoring that golf course easement area. Another thing we added to the revised plan was a detail for the erosion control barrier, which is on the plan now. Oh, and most importantly is the the hardscaping that's proposed with the project, that's shown on the outer land plans, is now shown on the revised plan. It was important to make sure that any hardscape that was shown by the outer land plan was also on the primary stamped site plan. So the revised plan does show the set of stairs going to the backyard. Really, there is no backyard, but along the side of the house. And it shows the retaining wall, which is necessary because of the way the property slopes down from northeast to southwest. Let's see. House itself is roughly 2,222 square feet, including the garage. As I mentioned, we have an IA septic system going in. To manage stormwater, Weller & Associates has added 2 Cultec recharger systems that will handle runoff from hardscape and, importantly, runoff from the roof. I think that's a pretty good summary. I've talked enough. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Would you like to speak at this time, sir?
Hi, my name is Kirill Stojanov. Mike is representing this on our behalf. And if you guys have any questions that probably Mike doesn't know, I'm here to answer if I can.
Okay.
Kirill is a building contractor, so I thought it was important that he'd be
Fantastic.
here to answer questions that I might or probably can't answer regarding
Sure.
construction.
Thank you. We will go to commissioners for questions or comments. Anybody like to go first?
Did we get nitrogen calculations for the new?
We did. They're in the
Did we get-
packet.
I didn't see them.
I didn't see them online, but
At the very tail end of the application, I believe.
I got it right.
Look at the
It's the last page in the application.
the last page of the,
I don't remember seeing it online, but maybe I missed it.
Yeah, it's-
I don't know if that's in hard copy.
Okay.
I've got it
That's
electronically.
okay.
Oh, there they are.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions, Sandy?
Not right now, thank you.
Sure. Any other commissioners' questions? Paul? Sure.
Good evening, gentlemen. I did look at the nitrogen calculations, and the actual load calculation, to me, looked rather high. So then I looked at the model, Mike, that you're proposing, the Singular Model 960. And according to the maker of that product, that's for secondary wastewater treatment. You have to use a Singular 960 DN or greater. They also make a TNT and an R3.
Okay.
So I would be reluctant to approve this model that you're proposing. It's not to be used for secondary wastewater treatment. It's right on their website.
Okay, Dave Flaherty is a sanitarian that designed the system. He is not here tonight.
Is it possible he just left off the letters DN? I don't know.
It's possible. I'm going to make that assumption. I just
Right.
don't know.
The DN model, it says in their literature that it'll get to a concentration of 19 milligrams per liter,
Okay.
and in some cases up to 25, depending on the use. As you know, we have a 19 limit for the entire lot, so
Yep.
I don't know how you'd get around using that tank.
Yeah. Let me see here. I'm just looking at the numbers that were plugged in there.
I think when I did it, I don't have that with me. It was in my last packet that was canceled for this hearing. I think I came up with the higher end was around 25 milligrams per liter
Yep.
on actual load.
One thing I'm noticing, I do notice that they're showing square footage for the paved area for the driveway, when I know that the proposed driveway is gonna be crushed stone. Roof area total. that might make a difference. If that paved area goes down to 0 square feet from 2354, yeah, I don't know, I can't do the calculation in my head what that would be. I could have Dave check that.
Yeah. My other question was on the lawn. And I forget what you had proposed, was it
37 or something. It was something
37%
like
of the lot to be lawn?
That seems very high to me.
Yeah, like 3 times higher than it should be.
Yeah, I don't think that's correct.
And I was wondering, is there a waiver for that somewhere? I
No.
didn't see it.
There's no way.
It's on page 5 of your narrative, first paragraph.
I mean, looking at the outer land plans, there's, what they're showing as lawn area, there's no way that's 37%. If you look at sheet number 2.
Well, I was looking at the packet itself, and under 3.3, nitrogen loading and lawn standards, it does state that the proposed lawn is at approximately 37% of the total land area within Conservation Commission jurisdiction, which exceeds the 10% lawn coverage standard described in the design specifications of Reg, here it says 32, but it should be Reg 31. So we're 3 times over lawn area.
Yeah, I don't,
I've got an issue with that.
I mean, it doesn't look like a lot of lawn. I'm trying to think
Oh.
of if that's even a correct number.
Well, those were the 2 things that caught my
Yeah.
eye.
Yeah, certainly the lawn area could be reduced further by the addition or the increasing the area of planting beds. That standard, you said, is 10%. The maximum is 10% of area in conservation jurisdiction?
Right, it comes under Reg 31.
Reg 31, okay,
Here it says 32, but that, maybe it's a typo, I don't know.
okay.
Maybe the 37% is a typo, but I'm just going with what
Yeah.
was presented, so.
Yeah. Because 37%, when I look at that right there, that amount of green is definitely not 37% of the total area of the lot. Would you agree, when you look at that?
It's not 10%.
It doesn't really matter
No.
because
Sure,
we have
it-
the right.
We've got to have the right numbers.
Right, right.
If somebody
Yeah.
has to go out and verify it's,
Right.
Well, it's just something that's gonna have to be
Sure.
resolved.
Yep.
Those are the only questions I had, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Shauna?
those hit the high points.
Okay. Rich, any questions?
I think with the questions, is it prudent to ask for a continuance to get this particular information in order and then come back? Because, I mean, obviously, if it's saying 30%, 37% lawn, and if you're looking at it, it doesn't look right to you, then maybe the calculation should come back and see if they are accurate.
Yeah, I think that's, I mean, I would love to be able to, because I think it's just a simple recalculation. If it is not meeting the standard, you mentioned at Regulation 31, it could easily be met with a plan revision. And then clarification for the septic system could be made with a revised plan. I suppose I'd ask the commission if it would be possible to, if there were no other issues with the project, if we could approve the project, close the hearing pending, with issuance pending receipt of a plan that reduces the lawn to, or corrects the amount of lawn, and make sure it doesn't exceed that 10%. And then I can ask the sanitarian to just clarify the system. I always, as a consultant, try to see if it's possible to avoid a continuance, but if it's something you're not comfortable.
Well, if you're gonna change the system, you're gonna change all the end counts, so I don't really see how you can get around not coming back.
Right. And the issue with the driveway would
And you have
render
to
the,
change the system according to their literature. It's,
If you could just so I want to get my notes right, so you're saying that the system that's proposed is a system that is not appropriate for the site?
right. Madam Chair, Matt?
absolutely.
This is a printout, Mike, that I had. It gives the various systems. This is obviously the top of the ladder,
Yeah.
probably the most expensive, but right up there, it specifically says that it's secondary use only.
Okay.
And if you go to their website, they've got a really nice site. It gives all the information.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know the difference between the system and the system that Dave proposed.
Rich, did you have any other questions?
That's it.
Okay, Neil, before we move
That's-
on,
I'm
any other
good. Yep.
questions? Okay,
Thank you.
okay, sure. So,
Madam Chair,
yes.
I believe, is there somebody that wanted to read a letter into the record as well?
we do have an abutter that gave us notice that they would be here to issue public comment. Absolutely, it's on my notes.
They
I
came
just,
the last time and it was canceled. They didn't know.
that's what I understand as well. Yeah, I think before we move to the public comment, I do just want to make sure that you understand the issues that we're going to be looking to see resolved when you come back. So the septic system, corrections on the nitrogen calculations, and reconciliation of the total lawn coverage. So if it is to exceed 10%, we would expect a waiver request
Okay.
for Regulation 31, and I would direct you to the particulars for, there are 3 components that need to be included in that waiver request. Demonstrate the compelling need, how much are you asking us to relax the standards? And the third one, I'm so sorry, let me pull it up. What alternatives have been proposed? What is the third criteria? I'll find that in just a moment. Does that cover all of?
Oh, sorry, it's to what degree will compensatory measures offset any impacts?
Perfect,
Yeah.
thank you. And enhance the resource area, that's right, Drew. Thank you very
Yes.
much. Thank you very
Sure.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
Does that cover all the commissioner concerns for what we'd like to see when we come back?
Hold on.
And if I may just add one thing,
I think so.
how do you, I'm trying to think in my mind if I've represented an applicant who's had a project where the resource area is within an active golf course, which is essentially lawn. And I'm just curious if there's been any, if the commission sees situations where the resource area itself is surrounded by a managed golf course, and if lawn area in the outer portion of the commission's jurisdiction, given the amount of area that's going to be maintained on the property between the golf course and activity, if the commission has granted waivers in the past. You see what I'm saying? It's the irony of having a resource area that's basically in a giant lawn.
Right.
And then we're proposing what I consider, looking at the plan, a pretty modest amount of grass. Certainly, we can reduce it further. Something I wanted to bring up. Sometimes I like to take a broader view.
Sure.
It's not like it's a BVW along the Mashpee River. This is a man-made pond with a fringe of vegetation.
That's
just
been there
wanted-
for 25 years and no
Has
doubt
been
has
there for
obligate
20
species that
Yeah.
we have a responsibility to protect. So for precedent, I would defer to the agents, but I will say all the more reason as we look at adverse cumulative impacts to
Right.
reduce the scope of nitrogen. And I will say that not all grass requires fertilizer. So we do like to see native species that do not require any nitrogen inputs to reduce the cumulative impacts of all of that shamrock green grass that's surrounding this parcel
Does
that
the
we're going to be building a house on.
Does the commission regulate turf grass on a golf course? I'm just curious how that works.
They have management plans. that are in
Management
place.
plans, okay.
Thank you. So while we, before we go to public comment, I know we've got somebody here waiting. I do want to kick this over to the agents for any other comments for the applicants or the commission to consider.
To answer,
Sorry, just real quick, Sarah, to your point, I can't recall off the top of my head, if there's been, or to the applicant's point, I guess, if there's been any other precedent established in similar scenarios where you have, a wetland surrounded by pre-disturbed conditions, and if the commission has recognized that before in a similar type of scenario, not that I recall off the top of my head.
Okay,
So,
thank you. Thank you. Any other comments on the project, Drew?
let me just look at my notes here. I don't think I had much more to say. I brought up the lawn, and I know that that was part of the explanation for expanded lawn area was the fact that the wetland is surrounded by maintained turf, and so I understand the point being made, but again, less lawn is a less likelihood of additional nutrients being added to it to maintain it. So that's where I'm coming from as far as that line of reasoning. They do have a preserved, naturally vegetated buffer strip of 90 linear feet on the lot. And I did just have a quick clarification question for the applicant. There was a house on this lot at one time, and what happened to that house? How come it's no longer there?
We don't have the information what happened to the house, so
Okay.
yeah, I could not answer that right now because I don't know.
I seem to remember that house was in very bad condition. That may have had something to do with, it was
That's just
better to take it
curious.
down than to remodel it or something.
Yeah, I saw it on the GIS map, and just out of sheer curiosity, what happened to it. But yeah, that's the extent of my comments. Thank you.
Great. Dan, anything?
No, for this, the lawn limitation is definitely a regulation within regulation, part of Regulation 31 for 10%. So I understand the point you're making. It's a very strong point, honestly. So if it comes down to, they can bring the lawn down to 10%, no concern there. If the applicant wants to pursue having over 10%, that would make for a waiver request, and that would make for a stronger waiver request, especially since the lawn itself is completely out of the 75-foot buffer. And understanding that part of the 75-foot buffer off this property is a golf course. So that would just be for a waiver request if it were to come down to that.
Yeah.
So I would recommend verbalizing that or writing that down as a waiver request, if the applicant chooses to go above the 10% threshold. So, yeah. Other than that, no, this project's fairly strong. IA septic system, brand new house being situated on a lot that is preserving, through an easement, preserving a lot of the natural vegetation on the lot. So I feel this is acceptable. The septic concerns, I don't tend to review the types of systems, just parts, the liters per that are being reduced, but I understand Commissioner Colombo's concerns when it comes to the type of septic system being used.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that should be looked into as well.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's probably just the letters were left off, but that's
Chance.
one possibility.
Yep.
But I think Mr. Flaherty will clarify that.
Absolutely. I think that's something that can be easily discovered. So.
Yeah.
The one thing that I did, kind of led me to not think that, is that the actual load on your end calcs does match the secondary 960.
Okay.
The 960 DN was actually a lot lower, so that's why I'm bringing it up.
Okay.
Just want to get it cleared
I'll
up.
have him review that. I think once he, yeah, I'll just have him do that, because I just can't speak, not being
Sure,
Pete McEntee or Dave Flaherty.
Sure. sure.
So,
Before we move forward,
You understand
I'd like to open it up for public comment for anybody that would like, either here or online, to speak about the project. Please come up to the table and,
Please speak into the mic when you do.
yes, please state your name for the record.
I'm Karen Blumberg. I live at 22 Slice Way, so right next door to the proposed development. And thank you for remembering that I was going to be here. So I just had a couple of things. Being a abutter to the property, our main concern is really just, we have a few main concerns. One is related to managing the runoff, because the property is on, it's a pretty steep hill.
Yeah.
So managing the runoff, we also, and I haven't seen the tree, that wasn't included in the packet. We have a big concern about, right now, there's really adequate screening between our home and the existing home that was demolished. It was in disrepair and it was demolished. But there was really great screening between. We could not see each other. When I look at the plan from Outerland, it looks like there's just kind of like small plantings that will go in front of the retaining walls, but I didn't see any plan for like screening between the homes. So I'd love to get a copy of that plan where you talked about the mature trees, because I'd love to see what they're planning to do. And just if you've been in the neighborhood, all of the homes in this neighborhood are, have really like mature plantings and screening, and there's all kinds of houses we just wanted to fit in.
Is there a way to rotate so that she's able to speak into the mic? Would one of you gentlemen mind maybe stepping back to another seat?
Yep.
Thank you. Just want to make sure everybody online can hear. Thank you.
Okay. Now I feel very official.
You're in the hot seat. No pressure.
So the, a couple of other things, I talked about the runoff. I'm curious, like, if there are issues either during construction or after, what is the process for correcting that? And then also just understanding that that the construction itself can be disruptive. We get that. We just want to know, we saw the barrier, but just sort of what other mitigation factors there would be. We have like, kind of like big windows that are directly down the hill. So I'm just kind of envisioning like dust blowing everywhere and just sort of how that might be managed. The Architectural Review Committee also has guidelines on when construction can happen, so I'm hopeful that you know, that would happen within those hours. Right, I talked about the plantings. I just would encourage that the commission and that the developer really either leave existing mature plantings or plant mature plantings so that there's privacy, but also to mitigate like any erosion to the soil and just kind of keep everything intact. And you know, my thought on this initially was selfish about my own home, because that home is going to directly look into our home. But then I was also thinking for a potential buyer, for them to come into a home that is wide open and looking into a different, you know, another home might feel uncomfortable to them. So it might benefit both of us. I did want to ask about the limits of clearing that's shown on the Outerland plan. I don't know if that means that, and you talked about this a little bit with the repairing, but the plan makes it sound like nothing can be removed in that area. So I didn't know if that meant that the existing trees and shrubs there need to stay, and also does that then limit, like, in the future, putting up a patio or something off the back of the house? So just, you know, really, again, we just want to sort of understand better runoff, erosion controls during construction, and then get a good sense of what the final plan would be, emphasizing that screening, just to kind of maintain the look and feel of the neighborhood. It would look really odd to have a big house with nothing around it in that neighborhood.
I do see on the Outerland plan, there are a line of evergreens, what looks like evergreens to me. I don't know if you have a copy of that.
Yeah, I mean, I looked up the plantings that were proposed, and they were in like 5-gallon planters, and they didn't seem to be that mature.
You mean mature at
Like
the time of
height.
planting? or-
Yes, like I don't want to wait 20 years for there to be, you know, screening.
This is all on the record. I would welcome you all to continue your conversation after the hearing has been closed for tonight, but it sounds like when you return, some more detail, maybe a planting plan, would be very, very beneficial to have on the public record. I also will say that we have requested peer review for new construction when there's going to be a notable change in topography or elevation between two properties to address concerns about runoff and erosion. So if that's something that could be added to your narrative, or if you feel that you need to outsource, we worked with the Barnstable County Extension Office with a coastal geologist, but I'm sure there are other folks that would be able to evaluate that. at no cost to the applicant, that could be included to address concerns about runoff and erosion from changes in elevation between one property to the next. So those would be some takeaways.
I'm sorry, are you saying
Yep.
peer review is required for this?
No, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it would behoove you to put it in the revised narrative when you come back to see us to address these concerns.
Okay.
Absolutely. So we can resolve them. Thank you very much
Thank you.
for coming in. Is there anybody else from the public, either here or online? Any questions or comments about the project? Hearing none and seeing none. Gentlemen, how would you like to proceed?
I think the next hearing is the 22nd.
The 5th, February 5th.
February 5th.
Today's the 22nd. I think we would like a continuance to that agenda, which means that would give us a week to revise the plan and and address the comments and questions. And if we need more time, we can certainly request it.
Okay. Do we have a motion to accept the request to continue this application to February 5th?
So moved.
Thank you, Rich. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Paul?
Before,
Oh, yes, excuse me.
are you set with the abutters letter? Do you have a copy of that, Mike?
I don't,
I can send it over.
but if you could email it to me, that would be great.
Sure.
There's a lot in there. Yeah, just so you,
Sure,
Do you,
thank you.
just final question, I'm not saying, because I haven't read it, I'm not saying that everything, or portions of that letter doesn't cover stuff that's not in the purview of the commission.
Right.
Should I parse that out? What is something that is commission interest?
You're welcome to work with the staff.
Or, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. They're wonderful resources for these things. Any other deliberation or questions among commissioners before we vote? Okay. Paul?
yes.
Sandy?
Yes.
Shauna?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
We'll
Thank
see
you.
you next time. Okay. We will open the public hearing for 70 Fells Pond Road. Applicants Michael and Lisa McDermott Trust, DEP file number 433388. Representative Environmental Landscape Solutions LLC. This is a proposed vista pruning project. Please state your name for the record.
Good evening, Commissioners. For the record, Tyler Goudreau, Environmental Landscape Solutions, representing the applicants Michael and Lisa McDermott for their vista pruning within a buffer zone to an inland bank. It's a pretty straightforward project. We had a 94-foot measurement on the edge of Fells Pond in Mashpee, where we calculated 25%, which was a 23.5-foot vista corridor. The vista corridor is overlaid over the existing gravel path to minimize disturbance to the buffer zone. There's a few trees in there that'll be pruned to the 30% maximum, and it's predominantly Clethra alnifolia, which will be pruned to the maximum 5 feet. It actually does really well pruned as opposed to other native species. But as I mentioned, it's just vista pruning. We meet all the Mashpee regs for that, and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Tyler. We'll go to commissioners. Any questions or comments?
Is
Shauna?
this the first time the pruning's been done, or is this like a maintenance?
So there's not an active vista pruning permit. I can't speak to the history of the site. There may have been some pruning that's done in the past, but for this, in the town, there's no vista pruning on record.
Any other questions, Shauna?
No, that was it.
Okay, great. Rich?
No, no questions.
Okay. Neil?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, thank you. Sandy?
I'm good.
Okay. Paul, any questions?
No, I think we're doing okay.
Okay, okay. I had just a couple of questions, Tyler. I just wanted to confirm, per, I believe it's regulation 18, we're not removing the plants. We're pruning to 5 feet level. We're limbing the trees. We're not clearing, right?
Correct. There's,
Okay,
yep.
fantastic. So it looks like a lot of really beautiful mature trees
Yeah,
in the
and
Vista corridor.
it's
So-
just to get, if you were there in the summer, it's a little bit, it gets, the lower vegetation and the upper vegetation starting to meet. So
Sure.
it'll just be that vista, if you
Sure.
will, so that 30%. So the tops of the trees, no topping of the trees. We stipulate, at the time of vista, as well as on the plan, is some deadwood over paths. We work with staff and get, approval beforehand. So rather than having them come back later, we take care of that. It's usually a small amount, and it's only where it's in an area where there's people that are walking. We won't go take out any snags or anything like that. But that's the extent. There's no removals, correct?
Okay, great. And it looks like also, just from my read, and I'll defer to staff on this and commissioners with longer tenure, it looks like Regulation 18 does require that we have a review of the pruning plan from a certified arborist. I didn't see that in the packet. Is that something your firm has provided, or?
The review
Has
of
that happened? Of the
the-
plan, of the pruning plan? Let me see if I can pull up the exact language here.
So all the pruning will be done by a certified arborist. There's a pre-consultant or a pre-construction meeting where typically a DEP sign, the plan itself, and the staking of the Vista corridor will be done at the time. Then we usually meet with either Dan or Drew, go over all the project. We work with a certified arborist, and often we do it ourselves. So we make sure that it's not done. You have a stipulation of a horticulturalist or an arborist in your regs. So the plan will be on site, as will the order of conditions.
Okay. And then the next question I have, the final question I have, is for staff. Any potential for adverse impacts? I wasn't able to get out for a site visit here. You all are familiar with the site, to the inland bank or habitat at all?
It's straightforward, site, it's got, all three levels of vegetative strata, you got ground cover, brush level, mid-story, and overstory.
Great.
So it's pretty clear cut. And, the only, in the Vista pruning protocols, which are under Reg 29, buffer zones and buffer strips, there is, a detailed breakdown of what is allowable as far as, alteration of vegetation that goes by layer. But there is allowance for removal of trees that are of a sapling size, so
Sure.
6 inches diameter at breast height is the DBH is the term that arborists use to describe sapling trees versus mature, and it's up to 20% of saplings that are present in the identified corridor. So you could be talking as few as 1 or as many as 3 or 4, depending on the width of the corridor. And this one, I believe, is very few saplings. So you'd probably be talking about 1 tree that meets that definition of a sapling that could be removed in accordance with our regs.
Thank you.
Sure.
And I did find that language just for the benefit of the applicant and the commissioners. So this is in Regulation 18 pertaining to inland banks, and it just says that vista pruning, which shall be shown on a plan acceptable to the commission, which has been certified as not being detrimental to the vegetative cover by a certified arborist of the commission's choosing, and it says a $75 charge will be assessed to the applicant for review of the vista pruning plan. But it sounds like this is straightforward.
Yes, this is very straightforward.
Yeah. Okay.
Honestly, and as well as within any approval of a Vista pruning permit, I highly recommend putting condition in of following Vista pruning protocols.
Okay.
We have them readily available on our website as well.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we put them right into the order, actually.
Perfect.
And we require a certified arborist to do the work.
Of course.
Always. Yeah.
Of course. Okay, that's all I have. We can go to Dan and Drew. Any other comments on the project?
None from me.
Okay.
Nothing for me. This is a pretty straightforward project. An area that is, a pond that is, has a lot of Vista pruning permits on it for a lot of houses, so it's not surprising to see one coming up at all, just to catch up. So that's it for me.
Great, thank you. Anyone from, yes?
And March 1st is the deadline?
Yes, thank you for bringing that up.
Yep.
March 1st is
Time
the
of year.
deadline.
Yep.
So definitely keep that in mind. The order will be issued within 21 days, and then I would recommend pursuing having the pre-construction on-site pretty much immediately after that.
We do a lot of these permits. We've had a really cold winter. Would the commission be amenable if we worked with staff in, say, like a threshold, or would they want us to come back, should we not meet? I think this application will meet a 21st deadline. We actually are for a separate project, but it's been a really cold winter. Bird nesting is gonna fluctuate a little bit. But we may be requesting an extension. How would the commission, would it be okay to work with staff, or would the commission prefer we come in and request that extension?
That's a fair question. Yeah, Paul?
I, for one, would, if there was going to be an extension entertained, I think it should come before the commission prior to March 1st. I mean, you won't know it this weekend, but it could be in early spring.
Sure.
And birds, migratory birds are so far out of whack these days that, and that's the whole concept. We've got a lot of migrants coming in. So I'm leery about going beyond that March 1st deadline.
I would
No matter what.
highly recommend whatever vista pruning permit comes forward, if there is concerns about that, working with the commission to get that conditioned in the permit, with the understanding that it's not for every year. It's just for that first time go around.
Yes.
Yeah. So I would definitely recommend having a discussion with the commission. This project, I feel, should have a comfortable window, honestly, to achieve the March 1st. With other vista pruning projects, if they were to come forward, definitely have the discussion, so it can be conditioned if possible.
Yeah, I'll be back next week, and that's.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
No?
Okay, anybody from the public, did we already ask? Here online? Okay, hearing none and seeing none, we'll go back to commissioners, and I would entertain a motion for 70 Fells Pond Road.
Make a motion to close an issue at 70 Fells Pond Road with the following condition: that standard vista pruning protocols be applied to this project, and a March 1st deadline.
Thank you, Rich. Do we have a second?
Second?
Thank you, Sandy. Any further questions or deliberation among commissioners? Roll call vote. Paul?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes.
Shauna?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
I vote yes as well.
Thank you.
Good luck. Good evening. Thank you. We will open the public hearing for 399 Monomoskoye Road, DEP file number 433389, applicant Tranquility Developers LLC, Representative Wet Tech Land Design Incorporated. This is a proposed reconstruction of an existing deck and redeveloped dock plan. Sir, would you please state your name for the record?
Yes, good evening. My name is Wayne Tavares. My voice is a little hoarse tonight, I'm sorry. I'm the owner of Wet Tech Land Design. We're landscape architects and wetland scientists. Tranquility Properties LLC has asked me to redevelop their dock. So there is an existing dock, and we show the existing permit from 1998, was revised in 2001. By the way, I should take care of some administrative items. We do have, as you mentioned, a DEP file number. We have a letter back from Division of Fish and Wildlife. To me, it seems quite boilerplate, and it's been reviewed by your shellfish warden, excuse me. I spoke with him today, and he doesn't see any problem with this project, but I'll let his letter stand, as well as the harbor master. The harbor master has looked at this situation and agrees with it as far as the length, breadth, and scope of this project. So the existing dock sits where it is. It has a fixed dock at the very end of it. We're planning on changing that to a floating dock. We're turning it 90 degrees to a hammerhead, increasing the size of it to 10 by 20, and using 4 stay poles or chains to go up and down with the tide. We're improving this greatly in the sense of the modern-day dock improvements. We've lessened the number of intrusions into the bottom of the seawater. I think it's 6.54 square feet of intrusion. We've elevated the dock so that it is 1.5 times its width over the salt marsh. There's a very important salt marsh that's there. And then it goes back down again to a ramp. So in this case, you're gonna need a ramp that you, that wasn't very needed before, and it's more needed now because of the height over the salt marsh. Other than that, the construction is improved. The poles are 10-inch. The width is the same. It has to be 4 feet. We're using through-flow surface to get as much sunlight to the bottom as possible. The deck is 3 feet 7 inches longer. And that was ascertained by using a 5-deck system and drawing a line between the outermost docks that exist there. We also compared that to the center line of the channel. We also picked up the docks from the other side of the Secaucet Island side and used the center line so that it was at the proper distance. Everything here seems to fit. We're asking for a waiver. It is a structure, so certainly working inside of a resource area and not within 75 feet. But we requested a waiver as well. We have distances from existing docks. We have pictures of comparison. There is not much difference here except for the size of the dock. However, I mean the size of the float. The float and the dock, they all are well under the 600 square feet that's allowed for docks. So we think we have a good project here, and I'm welcoming any questions.
Thank you, Wayne. We'll go to commissioners for any questions or comments. Paul, would you like to go first?
Sure, why not? What is the mitigation fee that was recommended by the Shellfish Constable?
9,000 and change. I can pull it
Nine?
right up. Yes,
1,000?
yes. Was, let me get it right now.
Does he have a letter?
Yep.
And as to that extent?
We received it late today. I emailed it to you late today.
Oh, okay, then I didn't get it.
We just got it late today. That's all it came down to.
Yeah.
So where am I?
Without experience in the town, may I just address that? Is that a usual fee?
Yes, so it is based off
Very high.
of calculations of
This one I've never seen.
It's the highest
possible
one I've
species
ever
that can be
seen.
found there and for the number of them. And it's broken down right here into each individual species and how much it costs for one and how much could fill an area, basically. There's a lot more to it than that. The Shellfish Constable could outline it better than I can ever explain it. But the fee does come out to $9,475.
Okay, and this is a usual fee?
For new dock placements.
Yeah.
And for rebuilds, yeah, it can be this high. I have seen a couple that are higher, that we've had, before this board, but we have seen them this high, yes.
Okay, I spoke with him very late. Actually, he called me, and he was embarrassed. He says, I haven't addressed this, but he didn't bring this up, and I'm sorry it was late in the day so I haven't received yours yet. I haven't read it. So,
So,
I'm
with
glad
the
I'm
shellfish
sitting, I'm glad I'm
mitigation-
sitting down. How's that?
Yeah. I understand that. Docks are in perpetuity, docks are there for good, unless they are applied for to be changed. So this is something that has to be, as long as the applicant's approvable of covering it, has to be paid because it is public water, shellfish are a public commodity, so it's essentially billed for that aspect.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And you said new or redeveloped, like you have
Anytime you
coverage.
are moving a pile, anytime you're relocating a bracing, anytime you're disturbing the soil under the water, a shellfish mitigation fee is assessed. And all the mitigation money goes directly to the shellfish program for more seed to grow more shellfish.
Okay,
So,
okay.
yeah.
Not a complaint, I'm just an observation. I've
We
gone
get a lot
to,
of questions about it, I will say that.
I've gone to 4 or 5 different towns, all on the upper, well, no, in Lower Cape as well, and I've never seen a fee like that, but,
The highest one I've seen was 13,000, I will say that.
Okay,
So
all right.
you're making out here. So I'm making out, but it's more
Okay.
than that. So.
Thank
I'm
you.
I'm glad I'm not winning that war. Okay.
Thank you for the information. Paul, did you have any other questions?
Yes. The entire project is in the velocity zone. So I know there's a double staircase access for the public.
Right.
How are those stairs anchored?
Okay,
There's nothing on the diagram that shows.
no, and I apologize for that, but we would anchor those with helical piles likely. And they would be driven into the ground and tied to those. We did one of these type of steps over at Keel Way. And there, they weren't anchored because we had to cantilever the entire dock over the land, so it was sort of floating, and we didn't have to put an anchor down. In this particular case, you're right, it does anchor. I didn't mention that, we did, in the improvement of this, we've also provided for access in the public area, and that's what we're talking about.
They're
I
wooden
can draw a
steps?
detail for that.
They're wooden steps?
Oh, yeah, there would be wooden, pass-through, yeah.
Any thought to aluminum that could be retracted with a storm coming?
We could do that too, sure. I would consider
Storm's
that.
not gonna get any easier. It's like shellfish getting expensive.
Okay, okay, something new. All right, yeah.
Another question.
What, do we have any thoughts of which way you'd want it? Permanent with a helical pile, or with these withdrawable aluminum collapsing steps? Which would the
My
conservation?
preference would be something that could be removed, like in a 24-hour notice, because they do come. Storms come, and
All right,
pieces
Is the
start going
resident
flying.
near-
If the
Around them?
house is habited, if there's somebody in the house, right?
Well, we could get into leaving wood stairs, but I would like to see identifying features on each
Yep.
riser so that when they're scattered everywhere, we know where they're coming from.
Before they leave.
We actually
Sure.
conditioned that
That's in the regs, yeah,
on one job.
yeah, that's in the regs.
Well, it can be discussed and batted around.
Sure.
Another question I had was, the ground platforms that are on the diagram, the revised diagram, a little bit different than what I saw on the original diagram. This one's stamped by an engineer, the last one wasn't. But it doesn't give any information, it just says ground platforms as needed. What does that mean, as needed?
I'm sorry, where is that note? Is that on the plan view? or-
Yeah, it's a call-out right on the plan, and you really can't tell what's going on based on the plan.
Okay.
I don't know if you can get that on the screen, Dan.
Is that a note? I'm sorry.
Is that the cross bracing?
Tile dock floats,
Oh, it's a cross-section.
cross-section, yeah.
Okay.
No, that's not it, Dan.
This, yeah, whatever.
It's maybe the next one. There you go, right there.
Okay, now. Now, whereabouts are we on this?
I believe that was the one, that's the one without the engineer's stamp, or is it? The one that's in tonight's packet
Yeah.
doesn't give any information at
This
all
is a stamp
about
on it.
the platforms. It just says as needed.
I see, yeah.
I'm wondering, what does that mean, as needed? How many, or?
What is meant here is that goes back, the solid line goes back to ground level. So what we said is in order to reach the height of this elevation,
Right.
as needed, how far back it would go to run into the ground. So if you take that line and run it back, or you take the platform, the dark step that's in front of it before you land on the dock, if you take that and run it back, we may need only one step. I showed 2 steps because it may be needed, or as needed, is what I was saying. So if I only need 1 step to get up on the dock, which I certainly will, I want to tie that into the ground. So those would be 4x4 posts that would be supported. And as far as needed, I'm sorry, that drawing is,
That drawing up there,
Elaborate.
actually, that's the original drawing when we first got the information. The one that's in tonight's packet, the revised drawing, is different than that.
yeah, it was still stamped though. You still have it.
It's stamped. That one that was just on the screen is not.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got it here.
you go. Just flip it if you can.
Yep. All right, I pulled the wrong one up, my apologies.
It's all right.
There you go.
Right there.
Oh, yeah.
See, it's different. There's
Yep,
no.
it is different. And that's actually a better drawing. So that drawing just shows it level, reaching to the length of the dock itself is the vacant area to the right of the dock spot. The dock area is a platform necessary to get to the dock, but it's not a dock, it's just a platform.
And that's 6 feet of elevation heading back on this diagram towards the left.
Yeah,
But
I
how far
should have-
back?
Yeah, sorry.
And how is that anchored?
I should, yeah, you're right. I should have ramped that to the ground and anchored it to the ground and show how it would be anchored. But verbally, before I redo this drawing, I would, hopefully we can get through this tonight with few changes. I'll make all those changes and get this approved and hopefully make the changes on the plan. But I would anchor that, again, either with helicals on the other end and attach it to the dock, the same way the ramp on the other end is attached. And we usually use eye bolts and a bar through it, tie bar, and we can ramp it down. It doesn't move, and then we tie it down with helicals. Water would pass under it, just like you ask for the water to either pass through the steps that are used for access, or they're collapsible. Either way, I understand your point.
Yeah.
So we're at 6 foot, 6.8 on the dock itself, I think, 6.9, and we're trying to reach ground grade, which at that point is about 4. So 4 to 6.9, you got a 2-foot 9-inch ramp that you want to make as comfortable as possible, just to reach up to the dock.
And the 4-foot contour level on the GIS map doesn't perfectly coincide with the boundary between the AE and the VE, but it's close. So
Okay.
that's going to be anchored down pretty strongly. It's, for the most part, it's probably in the velocity zone.
Yeah, and it says on the plan, stepped as required. The point of that is where it hits the ground grade is where it is. The 4-foot contour is quite a far up. I don't need that kind of judgment distance in order to build that ramp.
Well, then you're completely in the velocity zone at that point.
Yes. So it has to be anchored, just like the posts have to be anchored. So again, we would suggest you use helical piles in order to do that. That probably is not a detachable type of a unit, or collapsible. I'll leave it up to your good judgment, though.
I know on other projects, we've kind of held off to make sure that they're anchored properly.
Sure.
But those are my only concerns.
Okay.
Thank you. Paul, any other commissioners with questions or comments? Sandy?
Good, thank you.
Okay.
Dan,
Sean?
did we get something from the harbor master?
Yeah, there's no navigation.
My questions were really, did we need something from the shellfish constable, which I guess we got late, and
Sure.
harbor master, so.
Okay, thank you. Rich, any
No
questions?
questions.
Neil?
No questions.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, Wayne. I had just a couple of questions. In the pictures, the dock looks in pretty workable condition. Could you speak to the impetus for the redesign and the reinstallation?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that question.
Why are you rebuilding the dock? It looks like it works just fine.
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing that. Say that again?
Could you speak to why you're proposing to rebuild the dock? It looks to be in good condition.
It's in fair condition. It's been there for, like I said, the original was approved 1998 and then revised in 2001. 24 years is a long time for something to be in the water.
Sure.
Also, we're bringing up to standards that were conceived since then,
Sure.
which is the distance and the sunlight provided to the salt marsh underneath, et cetera. Also, there's more posts in the ground now. There's fewer posts in the ground. They'll be stronger, and that's already gone through some water surges, I'm sure, in the 24 years, but now it'll be more impervious to velocity zone damage. We have to fix up a few little tidbits that we just came up with, as far as ramp and access to this higher dock.
Got it.
Other than that, it's all new. You got through flow that we're putting as a surface. That's better than what we're using now. Those big dock planks that are there, those heavy dock planks, they're starting to warp, or they have warped.
Sure.
So they're full of splinters. The owner has grandchildren, so it's an improvement.
It's
Excellent.
squishy.
Is it?
Yeah, I
didn't
didn't
get to walk on
I
it.
didn't want to walk out on it.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. The pictures don't do it justice then.
One comment to that, if I may.
Thank you, sure.
So on the 6x6s here,
Yep.
throughout the time, they must have had some issues, because there is a 2x12 or a 2x8, whatever it is, sistered to it on every single post.
Oh, wow.
And I don't feel, because when I was on it, I was actually moving the whole system myself. I'm a big dude, I get that, but,
Yeah.
you know, it made me feel uncomfortable. But that tells me that they weren't jetted into the ground properly either.
Okay.
Or there's rot on the main 6x6s or something.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So necessary improvements. That was actually another question I had, Wade. I didn't see the pile install methodology in the plan. It's entirely possible that I missed it. Could you,
I had a hard time hearing, I'm sorry.
that's okay. Is that any better?
That's better.
Okay.
Thank you.
Could you speak to the pile installation methodology? I apologize if I missed it.
Oh, jetting is out now, so they're pounding these in
Okay.
by hydraulic press.
Okay.
So they pound those into the ground. And jetting, of course, disturbed a huge area when it was jetted
Sure.
in piles. So now they pound those into the ground.
Okay.
They put points on the ends. They jet them in. They jet them in. I gave a distance of each pile that's in there. I designed this, by the way, and I work with the engineer and on this, and he comes back with his own notes and so forth. So this has been looked over by two people. I used to install the easy ones in the old days, and that's the only reason I'm involved with this. But I've done them in 5 towns, something like that. And every town has its own unique design. But
Sure.
basically, the engineering of these is the same.
Thank you. And I am assuming, or maybe just confirming, that the applicant is willing to comply with all of the recommendations from the Division of Marine Fisheries?
Yes, I didn't see any that jumped out at me that were different than what either the harbor master said or the shellfish warden.
Yeah. I think it's the float stop distance to the substrate.
Yeah, well, we can use
Specifically?
a float stop.
Yep, 2.5 feet.
Yeah, we can use
Okay.
a float stop, sure.
Okay, great.
So there's 3 things that I have to do to redesign this, yes.
Okay. And I also heard you say that you were requesting a waiver, but I did not see one in the packet. Is that just,
I might have added that on. This is a water-dependent structure.
Sure.
So it shouldn't require a waiver.
I don't see that it does. I would,
No, it
I would
does
ask
not.
to
So,
confer. I don't see that it does, but,
Yeah.
okay.
I was just covering my bases, so.
Got it.
Sorry.
Got it. And I would just concur with Commissioner Colombo that I do feel like there's incomplete or insufficient information to demonstrate adequate anchoring in the velocity zone, so I would like to see that. But with that, I can yield to the agents. Drew, Dan, do you have any comments?
No additional comments from me, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Dan?
Nope, this dock system definitely needs updating, that's for certain. So to see it come in with an application that is being accommodating with the salt marsh, because currently it's not, as well as all the other regulations for the status quo for the current time. So I do see it as a strong project. It is the velocity zone, so we all know the reality and concerns when it comes to velocity zone construction nowadays. So the considerations, hope are strongly given to the recommendations by the commissioners, and that's it for me.
Okay.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the public here online that wishes to comment on this application? Okay, hearing none and seeing none, we'll go back to commissioners for deliberation. We can entertain a motion.
Do we want to talk more about the stairs being removable, or?
Sure. So there's an option to request that the plan gets revised for some of these items, or to condition if we wanted to close an issue this evening.
Hey, but I
Any
didn't know whether we
thoughts?
wanted to talk about what we felt we wanted for the stairs.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Let's talk about the stairs.
I think they should be removable.
Sure. And a condition that they be removed,
right.
maybe at the beginning of the end of the season, maybe.
There's enough clearance on
Sure.
that for public.
Let's check. No, you get about 2 feet in some, or, yeah, 2 feet in some sections.
Yeah.
So, but that wouldn't mean that if it were to occur in the winter, they would still have access to walk around on the property. So they could do that as well. But you know, consideration of the public access in the salt marsh especially is needed.
Well, if they can walk around, why do we need stairs?
So the law goes under the
Okay.
dock. They want, you know, they don't want people walking all the way up on the lawn, mainly because some houses are right there.
Sure.
But also, they accommodate for it.
Yeah, under chapter 91, you have to provide passage for fish fouling, navigating, and it has to be below mean high water.
Okay,
Because above mean high water is private ownership, thus trespassing unless the owner allows that willingly and in writing. But in the absence of that, you have to have 5 feet of clearance underneath the fixed pier, below mean high water, not above it. So if there's not that kind of clearance, then the stairs are required by chapter 91.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
And if I can just add, there wasn't clearance, because we all would have loved that. I just finished one in Yarmouth where we were able to pass underneath the dock. So we're not able to do that. And just like Drew said, my knowledge of public area is between mean low and mean high. I will talk to the owner if you wish. If you'd like to close tonight, I have those 3 items that we talked about: the stops on the dock, the stairs collapsible or out, but he needs to provide approval to walk on his property and around it, which we made harder because there's a ramp that goes to the dock. So that means they really have to enter the owner's property to go around. So it's likely the stairs would have to remain.
Sure.
So now it's an issue, do I anchor those with helical piles, or do I use the collapsible, which seems to be, you know, the
Collapsible
Yeah.
steps
stairs.
du jour.
Okay. Sure.
Lack of a better word. But I'd like to close the hearing tonight with a revision going towards those
Sure.
issues.
Sure, thank you, thank you. Any other commissioners have any thoughts on collapsible stairs versus anchoring with helical piles? More piles or more impact?
More piles of more impact.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, though, in the event that we didn't ask the question, are the residents year-round or are they seasonal? Because 24, storms flying up.
Well, and that could
somebody's-
change if
Yeah,
the
yeah,
property
yeah,
changes
yeah,
hands
yeah.
too.
So,
That could change.
So,
Yep.
I think that's, and if we're gonna make them collapsible, then I think, Paul, to your point, we should identify them, so if they do go astray.
When, yeah, when,
Then we know who to come back to
sure.
deal with it.
Well, it
Well,
sounds
if they
like to
go away
maintain
for the winter, they can
compliance.
take them up before they go.
Sure.
I'd like to investigate the collapsible stairway. We had to do one in Falmouth, but it was a long one. This is short. It shouldn't be too hard, but I'd like to investigate it. So if we could, again, if we could close, we'll come up with that answer.
Actually, I have a
Have it
question.
for
As
you.
far as in regards to the steps, do the steps have to have an angle, or can it be a ladder that is screwed to the dock that allows you to walk down? So a vertical ladder as
Sure.
opposed to,
That's definitely, Drew's gonna have to answer that one. I'm not.
Sounds like a safety concern.
From what I've heard, my little history was this, is you make it as accessible almost for handicap access, although it sounds ridiculous that you're, with a wheelchair up on the beach, but you can't have a vertical ladder. That's the way I've understood it. You have to have some kind of steps, and they have to meet code.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean,
Okay.
I have tried to encourage vertical steps to have less footprint over the salt marsh, but I did hear that at some point from someone in the know, that that's not something that chapter 91 wants to see, because of that reason that Wayne stated, yeah.
Sure. So it sounds like we have a couple of options. One is to entertain close and issuing a permit with a lot of conditions. or to reconvene after some more information has been collected and the commission is satisfied that their concerns have been addressed. Any comments on how the commission would like to proceed?
I would like to see the plan for anchoring to the land. I mean, helical piles are helical piles, but how many, what position are
Sure.
gonna be in, how far is this thing gonna go out? It's all kind of up in the air, so to speak. Even when I'm looking at the GIS layers, and they're not exact either, so
Right.
there's some issues dealing with the velocity zone, dealing with how this dock, this pier is going to be anchored to the land. There's issues with the stairs, there's issues here.
A lot of questions.
I would not be comfortable voting for it.
I would tend to agree.
Presented.
Just 1 second, sir.
yeah,
We're just
sure.
going to pull the commissioners. Any other thoughts?
I think there's a number of questions that say I'd like to see it come back and verify that it's all the way we want it.
Sure.
Yeah, I'd bet a shot at closing the issue if you come back with the answers.
Neil, awful quiet over there. Any thoughts?
Personally, I think he could condition it and be able to pass it, but that may not be the consensus, so his best bet may be to come back.
Sure. Sandy?
I think you should come back so we can see it.
I would tend to agree.
Mm-hmm.
So with that information, Wayne, how would you like to proceed?
I'll come back to next meeting.
Okay.
And that's fine. And I have one other thing that just popped into my head. We're talking about steps being anchored for public access, which are needed, they're required. Just had a little discussion with Drew included that it has to be steps. So at the end of this, where we're talking about a ramp, I was trying to make it easy for the owner. Why don't we do steps there as well?
It's your call.
Yeah, okay.
Whatever plan
So,
revisions you'd like to come back with.
I think
we'd be glad
it's-
to take a look at.
It's kind of obvious that
Sure.
if we solve one problem, we can solve the other one easier with less footprint. And then the stops are a given, so, okay, yeah, I'd be
That
willing
sounds
to come
great.
back whenever your next meeting is, sure.
February 5th, I believe, is the next one? Oh, yes.
One other thing. On the DMF letter, there's a lot of talk about the winter flounder
Yes.
habitat, but I see the time frame for spawning, January through May,
Yes.
but on the comments, I don't see any restriction.
Time of year restrictions,
Should
that would
there-
be good to know.
Should there be one?
Should, yeah,
I would
absolutely.
think so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I meant to put that into the comments, Paul, but that's, yeah, we can put
But
that in.
it's
for
not in the
sure.
DMF letter either, Drew, so I was kind of surprised when I read it that it wasn't there. It should be.
Oh, I thought they did mention it, in the letter, but yeah. I can
Yeah,
go
no,
on there.
not under the considerations, yeah.
Okay, well, we can put that in, I mean,
Yeah.
Sure.
it's winter flounder habitat, so.
Yeah, I'd definitely
find
like to
out.
see that.
Yeah, I'm doing a dock down Cape just as a matter of discussion, and that flounder situation has put off the construction. It's a reconstruction too of a dock.
Sure.
And has put it off because now it's January 22nd.
Sure.
So that went out, so construction is going to be for next fall.
Okay.
So,
Should
yes.
be.
Do you want me to put the note in, or is this a note for the Conservation Commission?
I will reach out to DMF and just get clarification.
Fine.
Yeah, because they're recommending this so that you can tell me
Sure.
about construction,
Sure.
when it should,
Well,
when
it
should
it
not
sounds like,
happen.
Wayne, we are ready to take a motion to continue this to February 5th. Do we have a motion to accept the request to continue to February 5th for this application?
So moved.
Thank you, Sandy. Second?
Second.
All right, thank you, Shauna. Roll call vote. Paul?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes.
Shauna?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
I vote yes as well. Thank you very much, Wayne. We'll
Okay,
see you in a
thank
couple
you.
weeks.
Y'all have a good night.
You as well. Thank you. Okay, we are going to now open, and thank you for your patience to everybody still here. We're going to open the hearing for 0 Uncle Percy's Road, Dean's Pond. Applicant is the Pompanesett Beach Association. Representative is TRC Environmental Association, DEP file number 433392. This is a proposed vista pruning project at Dean's Pond.
And Madam Chair, I'm going to recuse myself as a member of the PBA.
Thank you, Shauna. We'll come and get you when the hearing's over. Thanks.
And he is online.
Okay, wonderful.
Who's going to be talking?
If the representative from TRC is here, if you would please state your name for the record, the floor is yours, sir.
Good evening, my name is Ryan McCloud. I'm a wetland scientist with TRC Environment Corporation. We are representing the Papaneset Beach Association for this notice of intent for vista pruning at 0 Uncle Percy's Road in Mashpee. So this project is located in eastern Mashpee near the coastline and adjacent to Dean Pond. The resource areas in the area are bank, border, and land subject to flooding, land subject to coastal storm flowage, barrier beach, land underwater, and 100-foot buffer zone. But of those resources, the only resources proposed for impact through this vista pruning is bordering land subject to flooding, land subject to coastal storm flowage, and the buffer zone. So with Dean Pond located so nearby, the Pompanesett Beach Association is proposing vista pruning at 6 locations to improve visibility to the pond. These locations are as follows. We have our first location is to the east of 18 Forest Road. Our second is to the east of 24 Menemsha Road. The third location is to the east of 42 Elizabeth Island Road. The fourth location is to the east of 45 Elizabeth Island Road. The fifth location is at the end of Noshawn Road. And finally, the sixth vista pruning location is at the end of Pembroke Drive. So at each of these locations, there's significant vegetation that's blocking the view of Dean's Pond. So this site is unique in that there are several residential properties adjacent to this one larger property that's abutting the pond. So as such, it doesn't quite meet the criteria to be considered under the single-family house vista pruning standards, nor for the condominium complex vista pruning standards. However, we did have a consultation with the agent, and we determined the best way to treat this project is using the standards for a condominium project. So as such, at each location, pruning is a trapezoidal in shape. It's going to start landward at 20 feet linear, ending at 25 feet linear. That will maximize the view while minimizing the amount of pruning that is needed. Prior to any proposed pruning, all saplings and trees will be marked with colored tape, and all pruning will be performed by a licensed and certified professional. So our time of year is proposed to be limited between November 1st and March 1st to avoid interfering with bird nesting season, and all pruning will be done in such a way to preserve vegetation layers and the habitat value to the maximum extent possible. We do have a bit more of a detailed vista pruning plan that is attachment C in the notice of intent. And that largely covers the project. If anyone on the commission or in the audience has any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you, Ryan. We'll go to commissioners. Any questions or comments? Paul, would you like to go first?
Sure, why not?
Thank you.
Good evening, Ryan.
Good evening.
I'm curious if you could tell me a little bit about the methodology of the areas that were chosen. For example, if I look at VP 1 and 2, my first thought is, why couldn't that align on the end of Forest Road and eliminate one of those? Because when I look at a lot of the others, like VP 5 and VP 6, those are all aligning with Pembroke Drive, Noshawn Road, and so forth. So I'm curious, what constitutes the decision to request the areas that are being requested?
So these were the areas that were requested by the Papaneset Beach Association. We do have 2 members in the audience tonight who might be able to help answer that. We have Heidi Delaclis and Mary and Brendan Newcomb, who might be able to answer that a little better than I might be able to.
Are they here?
Would you please come up to the microphone and state your name for the record?
My name is Mary Ann Brennan Newcomb, and I, with Heidi Delaclis, we are the Papaneset Beach Association representatives who maintain the pond. improving its water quality and the path around it. The areas that we selected were not just for the vista pruning for residents and walkers, but because a lot of the trees and things that are there have been thrown in over the last 40 years and actually weren't trees. They're just, branches that grew into sort of trees. So it will improve the quality of the land. When we've walked with Drew in the past, there are things that you can't even really identify as a tree or a plant. It's just a big green thing. So we picked those areas for both the maintenance of the shoreline as well as vista pruning.
Okay.
And some people, there are 3 families on the pond that had requested vista pruning permits. One did it after the fact, after they had done sort of a clear cutting, which we didn't want. Another one has done it properly, and a couple of others have done clear cutting, sort of asking for forgiveness as opposed to permission. And we just, as PBA, we want to be able to maintain some uniformity and control for the health and well-being of the pond and the wildlife, as well as the residents who enjoy it.
Okay, thank you. Do you have something to say as well, or she says it all?
She's my cheerleader.
Okay. My next question, I think, would be more for either Dan or Drew. I'm looking at the project as a single lot. Is that what we're talking? 0?
Yes.
Uncle Percy's? So how do we condition 6 different vista pruning areas on one lot?
Well, it would be recorded against that lot as a whole. So you can have, multiple corridors, as long as they're on the same contiguous lot. Then, the recording of the permit just goes against that. It can really, it can either go against that lot or wherever PBA considers the lot to be their headquarters or main address, address of record. So that's basically how it would be handled. It's a little unusual because our vista pruning regs are obviously written with single-family lots,
Right.
First and foremost. But we do have, that when that regulation was revised, I don't recall off the top of my head when that was, but we added in a section for condos because we knew that there are going to be some situations in town that there are condo units that border water bodies, and the regs, had to be modified to address those scenarios. They're not as common, obviously, as single-family homes, but that's why that language is in there.
I guess I'm okay for now.
Thank you.
I may have something else.
Okay, do let me know. Sandy?
Oh, I'm good.
Okay. Rich, do you have
No
any
questions.
questions? Neil?
No questions.
Okay, okay. Good evening, Brian. Good evening, ladies. I don't have any questions, maybe more comments for the commission and the staff. In looking at Regulation 29, I do not agree that the Vista Corridor guidelines that are set forth would not necessarily apply here. When I look at the language for protocols for condominium complexes, it simply says it's evaluated on a case-by-case basis, but in terms of specifics for cutting heights or, any sort of parameters, there's really nothing provided. And so I would tend to believe that approaching this as pruning a condominium on one lot would be more for inclusion of multiple sites than it is for the application of the corridor pruning guidelines, seeing as how there aren't any. So I've been looking at this based on what's set forth in Regulation 29 for the selective pruning on Vista corridors. And in particular, my concern is that 5 of the 6 sites used language to clear all of the underbrush. Only one of them had selective clearing, but 5 of the sites had clearing of the underbrush. And so I did have some concerns and wanted to just confirm with the representatives in the room what the plan is. Surely we're not clearing all of the underbrush. I know there are a lot of
We are
alternatives.
removing
so-
the invasives.
Okay.
Which there's a heavy, in the 5 of the 6 areas, there's very heavy invasives that we're trying to remove.
And replacing them with something?
Yes.
Okay.
Drew's favorite, I know, is blueberries.
That's a lot of people's favorite. I
That's
think.
right. So
Yeah.
we are looking into some other options
Okay.
as well, but we have, up until now, we've had not a certified arborist, but a landscaper who has been hand pulling and trying to control the, and bag the invasive. So once we have the certified arborist, that's what the underbrush that we will be removing would be.
Okay, and we are going to preserve the vegetated buffer
Yes.
strip to the pond, of course. Okay.
And as you may or may not know, it's not a very wide, buffer strip
Sure.
anyway. So we're very conscious of that.
Excellent. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Those are my only questions and comments. We'll go to the agent. Well, actually, Paul, do you have something first?
Well, I wanted the time to take a look at the regulation. I feel as though we're meeting that. It says that you may not alter more than 25% of the width of the naturally vegetated buffer strip as measured linearly from property line to property line along the edge of the wetland resource.
That would be tricky in this
So
case.
we got 6 of these at 25 feet, right?
Yes.
So we're within the 25, if we're looking at this as a single lot, correct?
Yeah.
So then we're good at 25%.
Yeah, I would definitely imagine so.
I don't know what the length is, but
It's probably under that, if you look at the cumulative linear frontage along the entire pond that PBA owns.
Yes.
This cumulative corridors combined are probably below the allowable number of corridors or, that you could have in a situation like this.
But I don't think we would look at the entire shoreline of the pond because we have to assign this to a single lot, and we're going to call it 0 Uncle Percy's Road, correct?
Correct.
Well, yeah, but that 0 Uncle Percy's Road is all the association.
Does it go around the whole thing?
Along the pond, not the whole pond. They don't own all of the frontage.
Right.
At some point, it does transition to private property.
Yeah, I can show you.
But the portion that they do own,
Within the yellow,
So you'll see it in yellow here on the map.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
within the yellow outline.
Oh, wow, okay.
They own both
Oh.
sides as
I knew
well.
there was
as
a
it.
limit.
yeah,
For vista pruning, I understood that there was a limit for a lot. This is a big one. I just wanted to make sure that we were
Yeah.
within that limit and not
Yeah.
outside of it.
Great.
yeah.
Anything else, Paul? Okay,
No, that's good. Thanks.
thank you. We'll go to the agents. Drew, do you have any other comments on this?
No, only just to acknowledge that some of these areas, I'm pretty familiar with this, I've walked this stretch. many
25.
times. Ray will tell you. That, you're gonna have varying, vegetative strata from one area to the next. And I know they did want to focus on those areas that are most congested with vegetation. But some of it may just involve pruning of, shrub level, and there are no trees. Others may be a combination of the two. So just to point that out, that it's not gonna be uniform, as far as the vegetative strata from one corridor to the next. And the invasives, the invasives are a problem. There's bittersweet, there's greenbrier, which is not an invasive, but it can be a nuisance and it can choke out other native vegetation. It is native in and of itself, but it's growing pretty prolific in a lot of these areas and choking out the native shrubs. So that's what they've been hand pulling and kind of nipping, here and there, trying to keep it under control.
Thank you. Dan,
Sure.
anything?
No, I don't have anything for this project. It's pretty straightforward. You're just breaking the vista windows up per property, so, yep.
Okay.
We just want it to be uniform for the good of the pond more than the neighbors, to be perfectly honest, so that people know that we're doing it and they're not doing it.
I appreciate that,
Yeah.
that's for certain.
Sure. Maybe some signage, too.
Oh, we try
there's-
that. We
yeah.
do a song and dance on a regular basis,
Oh,
but,
boy.
we give it our best shot.
Well, thank you. Is there anybody else here from the public, online or in person, that would like to comment on the project?
My name is Paul Foley. I'm a trustee at 45 Elizabeth Island Road. I'd just like to say that we support the PBA's request for vista pruning. We have pictures from 1969 when we purchased the property, when you could stand on our front lawn and look at Nantucket Sound. So there's a lot that's grown up in the last 50 plus years, and we support the PBA's request in this regard.
Thank you, Paul. Any other members of the public? Okay, hearing none and seeing none, we'll go back to commissioners. Any further deliberations?
If approved, who would be doing the work and being mindful of the March 1st deadline?
Right,
Because there's a lot here.
Oh, yeah.
it's a lot to do.
So what's the plan?
They would have to do an on-site with the agents once the order of conditions is issued. And then that on-site would have to include whoever is doing the work, which we are going to say is sort of a certified arborist or qualified
Right.
landscape professional. They already have one that we have met with a couple
Right.
times. I myself have as well. So I will say he's more than qualified for this.
Okay.
But the on-site will have to include whoever's doing the cutting plus the agents and a representative.
And
Sorry.
would the intent to be to have it done ASAP if it is approved, or?
But when we reached out to TRC and the landscaper, we had told them, the November 1st to March 1st deadline. With the weather, I'm not sure. If we don't get it done by March 1st, we'll wait till November 1st.
Yeah, okay.
Madam Chair, if I could just make a quick comment.
Sure.
Just in regards to that deadline, just for the commission's edification, and previous commissioners, when we dealt with this deadline, the commission would usually look, around the last meeting in February, the last meeting before the deadline, take a look at, kind of evaluate how the winter has gone, as a matter of kind of routine when it comes to vista pruning, and make a decision as to whether or not to extend the vista pruning window for any permits that were issued. It wasn't done on a case by case, it was just kind of all or nothing, but that was what I recall the commission doing. Just FYI, if it's something you guys want to consider at the second meeting in February, evaluate at that time and review that, how the winter has gone.
Okay.
For that possibility, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And up until that point, any permits that are issued would still be operating under the understanding that March 1st is the deadline, correct?
100%.
Okay.
We'll know more on this Monday, right?
It's coming.
No pruning this week.
Fantastic. Well, if there are no other questions or comments from commissioners, we can entertain a motion.
Make a motion to close an issue at 0 Uncle Percy's Road with following condition, standard vista pruning protocols. Obviously, November 1st to March 1st limit of work. And then, I guess, if the work isn't completed or isn't done up close to March 1st, reevaluate on the second meeting in February to see if it can be extended due to weather conditions.
Would we want that as a condition of the permit, or just?
I don't know if, is it just staff approval, or is it?
I think it would just be
Okay.
administrative business
We'll go
for
with
the
that, and
commission.
I'll add that as a discussion item
Okay.
for the February 19th meeting.
Yeah, what I had suggested was that the commission decide on an extension as a whole for any permits that were issued as opposed to
Sure.
each one,
So the conditions would be standard vista pruning protocols and the time of year restriction
Yeah,
until further notice.
yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
Great. Thank you, Rich. Do we have a second?
Second?
Thank you, Sandy. Roll call vote. Paul?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Neil? Do you vote on this one? Do we
Nope,
need-
we have a quorum.
Okay, and I vote yes as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, Rich. I'm a little confused. Okay, welcome back, Shauna. Sorry.
That's okay.
We went as fast as we could. We are going to open up the public hearing for 23 Elliott Road, DEP file number 433391. Applicant is Nancy Webster et al., trustee, Finn Family Trust. Representative is Scott Michelli, thank you. And the project is a proposed septic system upgrade with no increase in flow. If you would give us your name again for the record?
Sure, absolutely. Again, for the record, my name's Scott Michelli. I'm a professional engineer representing Nancy Webster Trustees, Finn Family Trust. So this is a notice of intent to discuss a septic upgrade at 23 Elliott Road. This is an 8,000 square foot lot that directly abuts Nantucket Sound. The home right now, it's a two-bedroom home. It's served by a single cesspool and hydraulic failure. The cesspool is located on the easterly side of the house, about 10 feet from the top of the bank. The proposal is to fill in that cesspool, crush it, fill it with sand, put the new system in the front, the furthest away from the resource areas. So this property has VE 16 elevation at the back along the bank down to the beach, and then coastal bank at the top based on topography. This lot's actually very flat once you get to the top of that slope. The entire lot generally falls within the 75-foot buffer and certainly the 150-foot buffer from both coastal bank and the VE zone. This property also lies in a Zone 2 designated area, so the septic system has to be a 19 milligram per liter treatment system. So the system that we're proposing is a Septitech Star 0.5 system that's capable of achieving that 19 milligram per liter. The new system would consist of a new 1,500-gallon two-compartment septic tank, then the proposed Septitech Star tank, and then a 13 by 16.5-foot leaching facility, which consists of one 500-gallon leaching pit, or leaching chamber surrounded by 4 feet of stone. We performed soil testing back, I want to say, the August, September timeframe. We had no groundwater, so separation of groundwater was not an issue. We have 5 feet of separation from the bottom of the system to the bottom of the test pit. The entire system is proposed to be located under the existing pavement. And as part of the system replacement, currently the sewer pipe comes out the easterly side of the building, goes to the cesspool. That pipe would be cut and capped under the foundation or through the foundation, and it would get replumbed in the basement and come out the front, so that we wouldn't have to do any trenching around the easterly side of the building. So that's kind of the quick overview. Happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Scott.
Let me just add too. Okay, so we did provide nitrogen loading calcs.
Yes.
I believe the existing, because it's obviously untreated, was 13.46 parts per million. And with the treatment, it drops down to 8.09 parts per million.
Thank you.
Sure.
Scott, we'll go to commissioners now. Any questions or comments?
Sure, I'll start. Why not? Good evening.
Hi, Paul.
I looked at those calcs, and it's from the town of Bourne. Is that the form that?
Yeah,
Kinda
it's a
threw me
Bourne
for a loop.
form, but
It's
it
not the one
came
we-
from the Cape Cod Commission.
Right, yeah, it's kind of formatted a little bit differently. I also looked at the Morris data viewer up to 2050. I didn't go to 2070. But in 2050, the house is in trouble, but the front area of the lot is still good. So I'm glad to see that's where it's going, but not so good for the house. So I do look at all of those now with the new Rec 25, just to make sure we're
Okay.
dealing with the future. And that's all I had. Great,
Great.
get rid of another cesspool.
Yes. Thank you, Paul. Sandy, any questions or
I'm good.
comments? Okay, Shauna?
Is the plan to re-asphalt, or are you gonna gravel over the,
So the plan is to repave it, and we have a couple reasons for requesting that to be repaved. One, we're not here asking for, to tear down or rebuild the house. We're not increasing the existing impervious footprint in any manner, so I don't feel like this warrants that. The more important thing is that the person that owns the home is elderly, and actually, I have with me tonight Kathy and John Walden. Kathy's mother is the one that lives in the home, and we view that if we were to turn this into gravel, we just feel it's a real safety issue for somebody that's 90 years old.
gotcha.
Any other questions,
That's
Shauna?
it.
Okay, Rich?
No questions.
Neil?
No, I think it's a good upgrade from a cesspool, so,
Sure.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, and Scott, I would tend to agree, failed cesspool, very close to a resource area, this is the best we can do. So no questions for me. We'll go to the agents. Drew, do you have anything on this?
No comments from me, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Dan?
Nope, this is a straight up project. Again, one less cesspool in town, so. Drew, you there?
I am, yeah.
Did you change your mind?
Yeah, sorry, I'm having some technical difficulties.
Okay.
But no, it's one less cesspool in town, and this is literally the limit of where it can go on the property furthest from the resource area, so.
Anyone here from the public? Comment? Hearing none and seeing none, we'll go back to commissioners. Any further deliberation? We'll entertain a motion if not.
You looking for the or you like?
We need a motion.
Okay, I
Oh,
wasn't
yeah,
sure if any
we need a motion.
additional comments.
Unless there's any other comments, yeah.
Okay, make a motion to close an issue at 23 Elliott Road with no conditions.
Woohoo. No special conditions. That permit's pages and pages long. Don't worry, Scott. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, great. Thank you. Rich, thank you. Sandy, roll call vote. Paul?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes.
Shauna?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Dan, you want these?
Yes, please. Thank you.
You gotta celebrate any victories.
Okay, moving right along, everyone. We are going to open the public hearing for 21 Fiddler Crab Lane, DEP file number 433390. Applicants are Robert and Michelle Labich. Representative, excuse me? Labick, thank you. No, I appreciate it, thank you. Representative is Marsh Matters Environmental. Hello again, Mike. And the project is an on-site sewage disposal system replacement. So gentlemen, please state your name for the record. The floor is yours.
Yeah, good evening, members of the commission. I'm Mike Ball, I'm a wetland scientist with Marsh Matters Environmental. I'm here with,
Good evening. My name is Bob Labick. I'm the homeowner at 21 Fiddler Crab Lane.
so as you mentioned, this is a septic system upgrade project. The Labicks are selling their home, and the system needs to be replaced. And Pete McEntee of Engineering Works has prepared the site plan that you should have, showing the proposed design, resource areas, and existing conditions. The most up-to-date version of the plan, one change we made is we realized that the coastal bank line, while it was correct on the plan that was submitted, your regulations have the 1 foot higher in elevation, and so the plans that we submitted to Dan show that second line as well, and we adjusted the 75-foot and 150-foot buffer as well. But there were no other changes to the plan, so just wanted to point that out. As I mentioned, we've got a coastal bank, and on the other side of Pompanesett Island Road, we have another resource area, which is a bordering vegetated wetland associated with Pompanesett Creek. Coastal bank is coincident with, the top of the coastal bank is coincident with the 100-year flood zone boundary. This project will incur entirely within an existing, the existing stone driveway and landscape areas, no tree removal or other vegetation removal in order to install this system. It is an IA system incorporating what's known as the Sledgehammer Aerobic Bacterial Generator Model S46. Pete McEntee is, I believe, has joined us remotely. He'd be able to answer any questions specific to that system. It's a .33 acre lot. House was originally constructed in 1965. Let's see. No changes are proposed to the landscape or the house. Everything that current existing conditions will be returned to those conditions after the system is installed. Yeah, with that, I'd like to answer any questions.
Thank you. Robert, did you have anything to add before we go to
No.
commissioners? Okay. Thank you. We'll go to commissioners. Any questions or comments?
I assume the system's in failure now, that's why you're removing it and replacing
Correct.
it? Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions, Rich?
That's it.
Okay.
I
Sean?
don't have any questions.
Okay. Neil?
No questions.
Okay. Sandy? No. Okay. Paul?
It's an easy one. I'm good.
Yeah, okay, same here, best we can do. Really appreciate the zero increase in disturbance and utilizing the existing spot, so thank you, they're very thoughtful. We'll go to the agents. Drew, do you have any comments on this application?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, great. Dan?
I'm all set.
Okay. Anyone here from the public online? Okay, fantastic. We'll kick it back to commissioners and we can entertain a motion.
Make a motion to close an issue at 21 Fiddler Crab Lane.
Thank you, Rich. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Sandy. Roll call vote. Paul?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes.
Shauna?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a good
Thank
night. Okay, everyone, we are going to go back. Just a few. We had quite a few requests for continuances this evening. We are going to open the public hearing for the remaining NOIs. We'll start with the public hearing for 40 Pompanesett Island Road. Applicant is David A.J., DEP file number 433384. Representative is Cape and Islands Engineering Incorporated. And this is a proposed plan to construct a pier, ramp, and float on the property, continued from January 8th. I understand we have a request to continue to March 19th to address abutter concerns. Anything from the agents on this one for us?
No, they just, they wanted to request a continuance because they want to pursue the abutter right to the north of the proposed dock system for a letter of support or just a letter of something. So they wanted to have a discussion with him, open dialogue, and see where that goes before they come back with for a determination.
Okay, any questions or comments from commissioners? Okay, do we have a motion to accept this request for a continuance?
So moved.
Thank you, Sandy. Do we have a second?
Second?
Thank you, Rich. Roll call vote. Paul?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes.
Shauna?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Okay. We will open the public hearing for 17 and 23 Alma Road. Applicants are Kevin Gaffney and Karen Flynn, trustees. Looks like we do not have a DEP file number. The representative is Strong Tree Engineering, and this is a proposed swimming pool and cabana project. My understanding is that we do not have a DEP file number, and so thus we are required to continue this to the next hearing on February 5th.
Correct, we have no DEP number, so we don't know what the DEP fully considers, or if they even have a complete application with the DEP, so,
Okay.
until that number comes in.
Great. Any questions from
There
commissioners?
was, this one was kind of weird because the applicant was actually Clancy Construction on the,
Yeah.
so this has like, Clancy Construction was on the application, the trustees, a different, firm.
I noticed that
So,
too.
do we,
I will, I'll bring that up.
okay,
because
it's just kind of, I get a little nervous when things don't
hands.
match up.
Yeah.
Make a note.
Thank you, Shauna. Any other questions or comments before we?
I have some questions, but I don't believe that procedure would allow it if we're not going to.
Sure, just questions on the continuance request.
I can talk with one of the agents one-on-one later.
Okay, okay. In that case, with no further input from the agents, do we have a motion to accept the continuance to February 5th for the project at 17 and 23 Alma Road?
So moved.
Thank you, Sandy. Do we have a second?
Second?
Thank you, Rich. Roll call vote. Paul?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes.
Shauna?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. We are going to open the public hearing for 15 Nehoyden Road. Applicants are Matthew and Carmen Brogy. Representative is Strong Tree Engineering, and this is a proposed addition to a single-family home. This application also does not have a DEP file number issued, and thus we need to continue to February 5th. Any other information from the agents on this one?
Nope, that's the same one as last time.
Okay, any comments or questions from commissioners? Great. Do we have a motion to accept the continuance to February 5th for the 2015 Nehoyden Road?
So moved.
Thank you, Sandy. Do we have a second?
Second?
Thank you, Rich. Roll call vote. Paul?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes.
Shauna?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Okay, I believe those are all the NOIs. We're going to go back to the top of the agenda and open the public hearing for 23 Monomoskoye Road. Applicant is Richard Jackma trustee, and this is a request for determination of applicability. Representative is Outerland, and the project is a proposed replacement of an existing retaining wall, walkway, driveway, and steps, and we have received a request to continue this RDA application to February 5th.
Madam Chair, just a clarification. Did you say 23? It's 231.
231 Monomoskoye Road.
Okay.
Thank you.
This was, oh.
An RDA?
RDA.
Yep. Any other information from the agents on this?
So they had to request to continue because a portion of the retaining wall that they want to rebuild is actually in the road shoulder, and Monomoskoye Road is a town-owned road. And I explained to the applicant that they can't come to the commission with a situation like that because you need permission from the landowner for any portion of a project that's not on the subject property. So they're gonna sort that out with DPW. They found this out from ZBA actually, but they just need time to get back to the property owner, the consultant does, and deal with this situation before they come back to you folks.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions or comments from commissioners? Do we have a motion to accept the request to continue this application to February 5th?
So moved.
Thank you, Sandy. Do we have a second?
Second?
Thank you, Rich. Roll call vote. Paul?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes.
Shauna?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
I vote yes as well. And then we're going to go back to the end of the agenda. We have a certificate of compliance request. We will open the hearing at 15 Childs Road, DEP file number 433309. Applicant is Martin J. Riley. Representative is BSS Design Engineering and Surveying. And this is certificate of compliance for a proposed house reconstruction. Have any questions from commissioners? Okay, we'll go to the agents.
Nope, this one passed, everything was right to it.
Yeah, no issues based on the inspection. Everything came out as per the plan of record.
Okay, great. Do we have a motion from the commissioners in that case to approve the certificate of compliance for 15 Childs Road?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second?
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Rich. Roll call vote. Paul?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes.
Shauna?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Okay, back to the top of the agenda. We have the approval of our draft meeting minutes from January 8th, 2026. Eligible to vote are Steve, Sandy, Paul, Rich, Neil, and Shauna. Has everybody had an opportunity to review both drafts of the notes from Gina?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Do we have any comments, changes? Okay. In that case, do we have a motion to approve the draft meeting minutes from January 8th, 2026?
So moved.
we have a second?
Second?
Thank you. Roll call vote. Paul?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes.
Shauna?
Yes.
And Rich?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Do we have any discussion items? Under water quality, ongoing initiatives, anything anybody would like to bring to the attention of the commission?
Nope, just, the grants are still going as they are, and, we're seeking landowner approval for the Red Brook one and the Mashpee River one, where have some, what are they, talking circles coming up, with the tribe as well as some town residents to really thoroughly go over their concerns, so, yeah.
You know, Dan, on that note, would it be possible to make an announcement
can't
under
know.
this section when those public outreach events might be, just for the record and the benefit of the commissioners? I know there was one at Webner a few weeks ago, and
I
I
got
didn't
them
find out
from
till the day
Ohio.
of, and I would have loved to go. But I wonder if there's a way for us to include those announcements for the public outreach efforts?
Let me see if
Yeah,
I can.
actually, on the Source to See website, it's
Okay.
established for all these projects, Red Brook and Upper Quashnet and
Okay.
Mashpee River. The updates are on that Source to See. They update that page for these public outreach events.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can certainly check the webpage. If there is one coming up in between meetings, it would be great just to get it on the record at the meeting too.
Crossed it out and initialed it, is that okay?
If that's possible.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Any other discussion on water quality initiatives before we move to updates from the agents?
Yes. The letter for the Quashnet project was due today. I know Dan mentioned sending one in from Concom. EOC sent one in, and I sent in my own as a resident.
Great.
So it's closed as of, I think, noon, right?
Yes, noon today it closed, and then, January 29th, they will have it posted in the environmental monitor for a determination, on however they determine it. So, so we get that letter submitted. I had it submitted the other day, from the Conservation Commission, and there was 2 residents that reached out to me that submitted a letter as well as a tribal member that submitted a letter as well. So, yeah.
Great. Thank you. Any other updates to share, ongoing projects, initiatives?
Just one that I have to share out of that list, and that's Santuit Pond with the aquatic invasives that the commission approved an order conditions for. So we had to draft an RFP, a request for proposals, because the cost of this project exceeds $50,000, so you have to go through the procurement process. So we had our town council draft up an RFP that I'm going to send out tomorrow to companies that specialize in treatment of aquatic invasives, and I think there's only 2 in the state as far as I'm aware of, so it's a short list, but nonetheless, this is a required procedure. So we hope to have the procurement process wrapped up, in about a month, and then they can proceed with the treatment of the invasive milfoil and fanwort and Elodea in Santuit Pond.
Thank you.
Sure. No major updates on all the others. I'll spare you guys so you can leave early.
Thank you. Any other points of discussion? Okay. I'll accept-
Snowstorm coming.
It's gonna get cold this weekend.
Yeah, everybody bundle up.
Not in that order, but
Not cold enough to
Your
kill the
milk and
ticks,
eggs.
oddly enough.
Sure.
Not
there's
cold
gonna
enough
be
to
no
kill
bread
the
left.
Not cold enough to kill the ticks, but it's gonna get cold enough to tick everybody off, so watch your 6. I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Oh, thank you.
You can say.
Seconded.
Okay, first, great, we've got a motion and a second.
I stepped on
That's
Rich's.
quite all right. Go
Yeah,
right
oh
ahead.
boy.
Step
Roll
away.
call vote. Paul?
Very sad. Oh, yes.
Sandy?
Yes.
Shauna?
Yes.
Rich?
I guess so, yes.
Okay, I vote yes as well. Good evening, everyone. Thank you.
Good job, Sarah.
Good job,
Thank you.
Sarah.
Oh,
Make note of the time for chair.